Good morning, good morning, good morning. I just wanted to talk about something that I was meaning to talk about I want to say a week ago, 2 weeks ago. It's a random Instagram post that a lot of people actually were talking about. Uh, not too many people, but it gained a little traction. And basically, the post was regarding a post from Tyrese, which he basically explained kind of my sentiments as well. Okay. Now, what do I mean about my sentiments? My sentiments is, I'm finding more so than not lower non-alpha. What I mean by lower tier non-alpha men, primarily when I say lower tier, I'm talking about as far as look scale, as far as men is concerned. Like I'm talking about five below, like kind of even what I would even say uh fat five below men, non-alpha men. Um, I'll even say on YouTube. I'll even say on YouTube. A lot of times you would notice that these men, and even well, offline is a different story, because one thing about the internet or even YouTube, that it kind of it's a different zone. The honest thing about it is, offline versus online, these men wouldn't even be around you. Okay, what I mean by these men is non-alpha men, primarily, and especially if they're um, below, like a five below, like fat, chubby, on the look scale, five below, and even broke, right? These guys wouldn't even be around. They wouldn't even be around any alpha males that are even in the equivalent of the look scale or higher above the look scale. These men would not even be around uh, the same spaces as an alpha male per se, as far as hanging out, talking. Okay, and the thing is that, yeah, I really, I don't really talk too much about the quote unquote you know alpha beta that much, but it is part of the structure of my foundational content on my channel. Okay, because I do talk about you know different aspects when it comes to people and social hierarchy, as well as other forms of it, right? And the thing is that what I'm finding is, a lot of times when I go to online, these particular non-alpha men spaces, that basically I can tell. I mean, they never showed their picture, they never showed their face, and then you can hear the huffing and puffing through the microphone, and you can kind of somewhat tell by their examples that they're not picked, first of all, and then they'll even admit that they're not picked, and then they also not being picked. They can't be picked damn near, because unless they're paying, they can't really hardly even get one, you know, and let alone agree or get along with an alpha male that is somewhat more picked or has more of ability to get women. Um, they don't have any you know, as far as offline, have any regard to or even any correlation with these types of men. They don't hang out with alpha males. Okay, they pretty much they're the how they hang out with they how they would hang out with alpha males would be through YouTube, through online. Offline, their world is, whatever they choose to, do as far as typically uh, behaviors such as like, I don't know, whatever, nerdish type, stuff that, people do offline primarily that are not into working out, athletic competition, uh, anything related to physical strength and uh, for basically body enhancement, any type of like highly pressured situation such as even fighting, MMA, wrestling, boxing, and another thing is that a lot of times people they don't really know how to correlate alpha, beta, and then I'm gonna be talking about sigma as well as zeta. They don't really know how to correlate that, And the thing is that one of the reasons why a lot of these guys offline don't hang with alpha males per se, or that because they know coming up as a child going through high school, these were the guys that primarily were picking on them. Not saying all alpha males are, would pick on, um, beta males per se, but there is bullies, a lot of times bullies that, grammar school, high school, you know, they got picked on, these, lower tier, men got picked on by these alpha males, by these jocks, athletes, or whatever, even I would even say thugs, quote unquote. They got picked on, and they grew up to really kind of have a somewhat very very deep disdain for quote unquote alpha males. Okay, and not only that, they don't hang with these particular types because they have no interest. They already had their mindset made up long before they even got to be an adult. Okay, that mindset was, I'm gonna be, a Toys R Us kid forever and ever as long as I can. And that being said, I mean, whatever you want to do with your life and what you want to actually, accomplish and everything like that. I mean, that's fine. Where I kind of, agree with, and I'm gonna show the post that Tyrese made on his Instagram. And shout out to Instagram because late last year, I actually joined Instagram for the first time, and I was one of the people that were like, it doesn't make any sense to join Twitter and Instagram when I already have Facebook. Well, let's just say I was entirely wrong because Twitter is different than Facebook, and Instagram is somewhat different than Facebook. But that's beside the point. The thing is that it's a lot of content on both of those platforms. Okay, now when in relation to what the post that Tyrese made is, kind of leaning towards, well, because the abilities that I have and the lifestyle that I live, I basically don't have the time and the patience as well as the wherewithal to deal with lower tiered males that they're so fragile that they can't even, hang with me pretty much. When when I go to the gym, let's just even say if these guys even want to come to the gym, you call them, hey, let's come to the gym. No, man, I've been playing video games to 4 in the morning. I'm tired, man. Tired, bro. I can't do it, man. And then, you get enough of those phone calls and then you just, you stop calling, you know. Let's go play ball, man. Same, man. I had a gaming tournament, bro, and I'm tired, man. I can't hack it. And then I gotta go to work tomorrow. So the thing is that, you know, one, I will say this: if you're a beta male, if you even, it's very few men that I find that even, let's just say, own the fact that they're beta male. The alpha, and I'm probably going to talk more about this because one thing I like about this topic, as far as alpha, beta, zeta, sigma, the alpha and beta debate is very similar to my, you know, basically talking point as far as being broke. And I'm starting to hear a lot of people mention broke, and it's very, very, let's just say, I like it. I like it. But the thing is that it's very similar to that in regards to everybody offline and online has a perception that they are doing very well financially, meaning that they're all right, that they have money, they are actually even rich, right? How many people have, you go out and then they, this Gucci belt, Prada shoes and all these other, intrinsic fashions, right? But this person, his bank account is in the negative. He's got or she's got, you know, about $75, tend to get in the club. The female pretty much she's, you know, looks decent enough to get at least one or two drinks, so she don't necessarily have to worry about a drink. The guy, he's got enough to buy maybe two drinks, right, and get home. Maybe stop at, I'm in Chicago. Stop at if it's not too late, stop at the wing spot, Harold's or something. Get a 4-piece white. You know what I'm saying? A 4-piece wing, special or some shit like that. You know, and get home, right? So the thing is that it's very similar to that debate where it's like basically everybody's an alpha male. Oh, you call somebody a beta male, and it's like it's worse than, I mean, well, it's probably not worse than you calling them broke, but everybody is an alpha male, right? It's like it's no concept of beta, sigma, zeta, whatever. You know, everybody's an alpha male. Is in the same sense that everybody has money. Nobody's broke. No, forget the statistics. Okay, for let's throw the statistics out the window. And even especially among in the African American community or just African American popular demographic, African Americans statistically, yeah, we do very well as far as being in the middle class, but as a collective whole, we do terribly because the wealth is very, very low. Okay, the wealth average is less than, couple grand. And the thing is that with those demographics and with those statistics, those same people, black people, actually believe, most average black people believe that they're actually doing very well. They even come off that they do very well. Basically, they don't acknowledge that the fact that they're broke. That's the same way with the whole alpha, beta, and other, regards debate. everybody's an alpha male, right? And when you even break down what actually typically is an alpha, typically is a beta, sigma, and zeta, which I'm going to go into. Okay, well, you break down what is, typically how is the behaviors of a beta male, right? And all of the, person fits those narratives, right? Nerdy, geeky, don't really work out, non-athletic. You hear, I hear, sometimes I hear a lot of times, well, not so much a lot of times, but I hear, oh, I don't even like sports. I don't even watch sports. That means I don't even play sports, right? Somebody like me that I've been playing sports since I was a freaking man, since I was probably like 4 or 5 years old, man. I mean, my favorite time of the day was recess. And going back to when I was a kindergarten, freaking preschool. And the thing about it is, the whole idea of what Tyrese is saying, I totally agree with. And the thing is that, I've broke down some things about this one particular female content creator, which was named Chloe. She was actually from a female perspective, talking about beta and alpha and all of that other stuff. And the thing is like I was critiquing her because she said alphas are boring. Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that, but it's not concise. You don't have to, if you are born with certain beta attributes, sort of, you can't be actually, if with fine tuning and focus and determination, become an alpha, even if you're a beta. It happens quite a bit. It's only like, pretty much you could just, like I say, you could just basically look at martial arts. For example, Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee primarily, he was a typical someone that before they joined the dojo, before he got with his sensei, you know, he didn't know how to fight. He was getting beat up, so on and so forth. And then his sensei, his master, taught him how to be, thus a master, and also, pretty much going to tap into his alpha nature. Because the thing is, I'm gonna go a little metaphysical here. I believe most men have some form of alpha deep within them. Can they tap into it? That is the question. That has to be answered for those men. Okay, but a lot of times men don't tap into it or don't want to tap into it because it does not come natural. Like me, naturally, I can bona fide say that I was born an alpha. My father was an alpha male. Okay, my father was in Africa. I remember hanging around his friends. He said, "Man, your daddy, man, you don't know, man. He used to just, anybody give us some problems, we call your dad, and then he just, punches them right in the head, man, and knocks them out. But in America, you can't live like that, But yeah, that's your daddy, man. My daddy was tough as nails, man. He was an Aries. He gave me hell to pay the captain. You know what I'm saying? And that's another reason why I'm able to handle a lot of pressure, deal with a lot of things. My daddy, man, he did not play. He was a savage. Coming from Africa, man. It was, yeah, man. It was a very, very tough ordeal, man. And the thing is that, yeah, I mean, I pretty much I think strongly, innately, and genetically, as well as spirit. Yeah, I was definitely born alpha. I even, a lot of times, I even think about the guys I grew up with, the guys that I grew up on my block. You know that I pretty much grew up with. We primarily were all alpha males. I mean, I remember in high school, even in grammar school, whatever, but mainly high school, man, we basketball was our religion. I ain't go to church. I went to the basketball court. That was my church. I mean, I hung out at the basketball court. I was playing basketball. That was what I was doing. And in between that, I was playing baseball and all kind of other things. And it's like, the beta males, like for example, one of my friends that he was in the honor society in high school, and he was, you know, all up and down the hallways in my high school. His picture was on the wall. He was, one of those guys that it was between him and somebody else that was going to be the valedictorian. We already knew he was, destined for great things. He had all of these scholarship offers by the time he was a junior in high school. You know, he got, scholarships here and there. And by the time you find out, he's, already a doctor and whatnot. And that's not always the case though, because I've it's some particular people that I went to high school with that ain't doing too well. And they were in honor societies and taking AP courses in high school and stuff like that. But in this particular case, he definitely did correlate because he's a doctor now. But it was a friend of mine. He didn't play any sports, like that. But because it was so many men that were particularly alpha in my particular community that I grew up with in or neighborhood, even the beta males, they play basketball. They would even, if it was just, they would just shoot a three every now and again or shoot a jump shot. They, because that was what the standard was. But the thing is that what you have primarily was you see online. That's why it's like a lot of contention, a lot of angst, as well as jealousy. I would even say a lot of these guys, man, they might have a certain level of popularity because they've been around or whatever. I mean, I myself, I've been on YouTube and I've been off of YouTube. I've destroyed about 2 channels, okay, because whatever reason, I'll just close them out. But the thing is that yeah, people know them, they flock to them or whatever, But the thing is that yeah, you could tell, you could tense, you can feel the tension in the room, in the angst in the conversations and the voice and everything like that. And then when you hear of basically how you can tell about what type of women do you actually get, and what do you actually do, and how do you do it? It's basically a beta male, and it's not something to say okay because you're a beta male that's bad. Because see, here's the thing that a lot of times people they I don't know why they don't like the fact that they don't own that they're a beta male, because it's actually worse things than actually being a beta male. It's actually a zeta male. A zeta male is way below a beta male or alpha male. And I'll go into that a little bit. A zeta male is someone that pretty much is in a lower tier part of society, a lower tier, even if you want to even call it class system or whatever the case may be. Someone that is extremely poor. Notice I didn't say broke. I said poor. I'm talking about they have little to no money. They are sleeping on someone's couch right now, or they're homeless. They don't have either the ability, because some people are permanent zeta males. I mean, basically Bobby that been a crackhead for 20 years that walks around the community, that's a zeta male. Okay, so the thing about it is, you have people that actually climb from being a zeta to higher tier, right? To seek their level that they were at primarily before they went down to that downward spiral in life. But yeah, you have some people that are permanently Zeta males, man. It's people that, because of whatever is blocking them in their life, they've been broke for their whole life. They're gonna be broke for their whole life and poor as well, and they're not gonna get out of that. They're gonna be a permanent underclass because it's blockages. A lot of times people, they don't go seek therapy, they don't deal with their problems, and people have demons and stuff like that. And this society is competitive. It's a competitive society. They're not giving out anything. Okay, what is the topic now of discussion? How much check am I going to get from the government for supplement? Because of the pandemic has done things and stuff like that, right? So the thing is that whether it be $600 or $2,000 or at this point nothing, right? The thing is that it's people that actually they need that, and I understand. I've been there. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been to a certain level. All of these particular, I look at myself as someone that's definitely Sigma, because I've been to the lower depths as far as Zeta classification, to Beta, to Alpha. It just depends on what's going on, and I've had many times where I had to literally, I fell down and I had to get back up and try to get myself stronger again. Now, the thing is that men actually feel bad or feel, it's like fighting words if you call them a beta male. And it's like, well, okay, well, you have the characteristics of a beta male, sir. What do you want? What do you want me to call you, alpha male? Because the thing is that if you are in a room, if you ask this person, if you are in a room with not even just Debo, but just somebody that is a known alpha male, how would you be able to best that person in that situation? How would you be able to deal with that person? I'm not talking about, you can't, because like I say, you can't beta your way out the situation. You could try, but you have to be an alpha male to get out of the situation. What I mean by alpha your way out the situation, you have to use your physical and innate strength, to get out this situation. There's no way around. Can't beta your way, none of that. You got to alpha your way out the situation. If you can't do that, then it just by default, if any alpha person I mention, you can't best them physically, then by default, I didn't even have to go into other categories. You just are a beta male, okay? And that doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you someone lesser than. It's just because it could be worse, because see, the thing is that it's beta males that they can get women, they can, have sustaining relationships, have children, families, and so on and so forth, and really not, don't have too much problems other than, the problems maybe in Western society and culture, or whatever, the world that we exist in today, whatever brings, whatever you have to deal, what most people have to deal with, it's no different, right? So the thing is that I don't understand where the disconnect is, but it's very similar to that. Now I'm gonna show this, basically this post from Tyrese, and when he pretty much was talking about his not wanting to really deal with certain lower tier men. Pretty much, he didn't mention beta male, but he just mentioned the fact that he was an alpha male. Therefore, that leads to basically someone else, not being an alpha and hanging with him. He pretty much mentioned that. I'm going to show the post, and show you what that is now. Let's see how this shows, because I got a side by side. I got another laptop with me, right? So I'm like, let me see how it's okay. So it's yeah. Let me see what the view is. It's not really showing that clear to me. So what I'll do is I'll just go full screen here, and so you can see the text of what he was saying. All right, so go back here. All right, let's see how this shows here. All right, so it's a little bit better. All right, so basically, I'm not gonna read the stuff way above, but I'm gonna go, because basically he's catching a flight, and if you don't know who Tyrese is, you're really, really young, and pretty much you just got to do your homework. But here's where I'll read at. Soon as they don't get what they want, wait, here, this is where I'll read. Okay, they are loyal to what they want from you. It's okay to be cool with people who you clearly see and know they want something, as long as you're clear about their clear intentions. Just know, soon as they don't get what they want, they clearly will disappear faster than you can blink, and just leave you standing there confused, shook, and feeling like, what the fuck just happened? I'm a self-professed alpha empath. Now, what he means about empath, he basically saying that an empath pretty much someone that kind of feeds in off of energy, off of people's energy force around them. So, for example, if you're an empath, you primarily are very if you some people will be like, I don't believe that and all this other shit. But okay, the thing is that some people actually transcribe to that whole notion. A lot of times, and even myself, I would have to admit it is a level of energy that you can kind of tell from people and just in general, right? It is something to that. But what he means by basically empath is people's energy, like how they flow and how he feels from people in his space. That's what he means particularly by an empath. Okay, so he also reads, it says, my alpha will turn fragile, insecure people away. Right. So the thing is that that's what I'm saying. I mean, that sentence right there, it pretty much, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, a lot of times you can tell when, that's why I just pretty much, I still listen to a lot of people that are beta males, quote unquote, and I know they're beta males. I mean, it's cool. I don't really read into it that much, but where things drop the ball is when I can tell these beta males interact with, other guys that not so much in their same classification. These people, they have a difference of opinion, a very, very strong difference of opinion. And, you can just kind of tell, and it's just be like, I just be sitting back like, I'll just be like, wow, okay, yeah. So, because the thing about it is, man, these same people, they ain't got no picture of how they look. They ain't gonna never show how the picture they look, because they but probably I would put $100 up. They butt ass ugly. and probably look like the Michelin Man. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, when you're a beta male, you look like a Michelin Man and you're butt ugly. Ain't no you know what? I was watching this dude that I think it was a few months back that he has a channel and he's pretty much this is something that's new in the, I would say, the 3.0 space, as far as I could tell. I mean, because, well, it's not new, but it's the classification is new, such as far as, me coming back to YouTube the last couple years. I never heard of the term incel until the last 2 years, right? Now, 4 or 5 years ago, it was never, I didn't never hear this topic incel, but this particular guy, he was an incel. He said he couldn't. It was particularly escorts that wouldn't even take his money. Now, it's women actually that they don't even want to. It's certain guys, they don't even want their money. And they're in a profession where they have sexual intercourse with men for money, and they don't even want the guy's money because they just they're not really attracted to the guy. It's very, very difficult to get into the the juice basically ain't worth the squeeze for them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know that is primarily what I think that these guys particularly are on the cusp of. And the thing is that they have inferiority complex as well as jealousy that they can perpetrate online because they don't have to show their face, but you can tell the tensions and the angst and the dialogue, you know, and these guys will even be very, very emotional with other guys that have, also showed their face and showed who they are and have levels of confidence and levels of experiences that they have never had and whatnot, and maybe never will have. These people are very, very jealous. Okay, extremely, extremely jealous. And then here's the diatribe to this. Here's the diatribe to this. Some of these people have the notion to have monikers such as let's just say MGTOW, right? Right? Of course you're MGTOW because you ain't got no choice but to go your own goddamn way. If you can't pretty much get a woman for, let's just say, face value, you ain't got no choice but to go your own goddamn way. I mean, it really ain't no other way to go, you know. But I mean, moving on, he also says, when that happens, this is the final sentence. When that happens, it makes me happy because I have one less person to love and care for. And the thing about it is, shoot, man, friendship and stuff like that is kind of difficult for me because I don't like to another person to actually not so much love and care for, but I one less person to argue with. That's more of a relief to me, But that being said, this definitely one of those things where I'm like, okay, well, I definitely don't want to involve myself. Oh, I got somebody. Alex, me, you're stupid. You a fake alpha. You don't know shit. Alphas don't need to be flashy and out there, you fake ass nigga. Well, I mean, show your face, Alex, me. Come back and show your face. Because as far as I could see possibly a Zeta or ugly ass beta male that hopped on somebody's channel because, yeah, this shit triggers people more than actually, I believe, the broke debate. You know what I'm saying? The whole broke debate. This is the lightning rod, you know, that I actually wanted to fire up because you got basically umpty scum like Alex Me that are trolling, and that's good because if I'm getting trolls, that means when you get trolls, that means you're saying and doing something absolutely right. That's what trolls mean. When you got trollers, that means you on the mark. So I appreciate you for coming on, Alex. So let's see here. Let's go and see what Alex is, if Alex has a channel, because he probably don't have a channel. He just most trolls they don't necessarily have a channel. So yeah, but anyway, man, basically, that's what it is. This is a very divisive comment, divisive topic. And the thing is that it should be talked about because see, here's another thing. Like a lot of these very lower tier beta males and even zeta males, they don't want you talking about this because they want you to tippy toe and have a conversation with them, very similar to a conversation with a woman. Because a lot of times, if you talking to a very low self esteem woman, you know, uh, it's a lot of touchy feely topics that you don't they don't want to necessarily have a talk about. It's like, why are you talking about this? You hear that because when you ever hear something like, why are you talking about this, that you going into an area of fragility, such as what Tyrese was talking about, where you pretty much you have a certain level where this person he feels some type of way or she feels some type of way about it. And that's what you hear is like whenever you hear somebody say, why are you talking about this? Because see, here's the thing, it goes back to social interactions. A lot of lower tier beta males actually even arguing, dialoguing is like fighting to them because a lot of lower tier beta males, they have never, you got guys that's been so sheltered, they haven't even been in any very few physical altercations from the time from K through 12, okay, and let alone after adulthood, because pretty much in adulthood, as long as you stay away from certain people, you really won't get into no fights if you're not institutionalized in any way, such as you're not in any jail or any hospital or anywhere where you can't basically leave. Your chances of getting into an altercation with somebody is, and especially if you don't take public transportation, is very slim, right? You can pretty much stay away from most people. So a lot of these people are not battle tested. They're not even used to fighting. So it's like they, not only that, they, a conversation to them is like a fight because they are not even used to physical altercation. Because the thing about me is when I dialogue with people, I never say, why are you talking about this? Because talking is not fighting to me. Like, I can talk with just about anybody. I've even talked to racists. I've been in a bar with racist white men and shot the dozens with them, and I had no hardly any other black people around me because conversations is not, it's just freaking talk. It's not necessarily the equal footing of actually having a fight. But to them, because they haven't had that many fights, or if not none at all, they actually dialoguing is very similar to interactions with a female. You know it's certain topics that's like touchy feely. Why are you even mentioning that and stuff like that? Because when you hear somebody say why are you talking about that, that means that you actually talking about something that it touches their fragility of who they are, their actual being. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that I definitely had something that basically I had to talk about with this, and it needed to be said. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that I don't have no qualms for guys, for nerdy smart guys, geeks, stuff like that. I mean, myself. I mean, I'm surrounded by a lot of geeks a lot of times. Not in my job, I'm the only IT guy in my actually, and well, it's the guys that are technically savvy, but I'm the only IT guy in my actual the location where I work. So it's not like I'm around other IT guys, but I've worked in other settings where I was, around other IT guys that were, some of them with a, guy with the thick black, bifocals, and kind of more nerdish and prudish and stuff like that. So I've been around these guys, man. You know what I'm saying? And they definitely, you could, it really is intercultural, where it's like it's this, a nerd that's, let's just say from India is very similar to a nerd in America. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just a thing where it's like I ain't got no problem with these guys, but the thing is that definitely online you could get the interaction, and it's like a lot of times it's like why bother, because you're not gonna reach these guys. You can agree on some things, as far as if you want to talk about certain topics, like such as like okay, anything geek and tech related and stuff like that. Maybe even maybe talk about I don't know certain TV shows and shit like that. But I mean, you ain't gonna get when the debate goes into anywhere towards the alpha realm. Let's just say the alpha realm and the beta realm and below. You know, because a lot of times these guys, people don't. One thing about me is because most people don't know who the hell I am, even if I show my face and shit like that. People actually have a notion where somebody actually knows who the fuck you actually are. And nobody really knows who you are, even if you show particularly your face or your even show. Well, if you show up on video a lot of times, yeah, people can, if they know you locally, yeah. But people don't know you. If you're in Tougaloo, Mississippi, you don't know who the fuck I am all the way in Chicago. You will never probably see me unless you actually took the time or actually wanted to actually come to Chicago and then try to find me and all this other goofy shit. And it's like most of the time you ain't gonna never people that you like, for example, the people I work with, I ain't never gonna see them. I only see them through Zoom. They're in New York, they're in Connecticut, and in Miami. I ain't never gonna see these people 9 times out of 10. But I work with them. They're in my department. I mean, we meet through Zoom and that's it. But it's like people actually think that because you online and you actually show your face that somebody like that's a big deal. But the thing is that don't nobody know you. Even still, even if you show your face or you even if you came on video, for the most part, you only people that would really know you is people that know you locally, the people that are in your locality. If you are showing your video or showing your face and it's somebody that is not in your region or locality, it don't even really too much matter because they ain't gonna never see you. You know what I'm saying? It's over 300 million people in the U.S. I mean, you know, the chances are most people will not cross paths, even if they, see you or whatever. And then, people, also do things like, they don't show their name and all that type of stuff as well. But I mean, yeah, people, make these, generalizations as far as they have so much paranoia as far as showing their face in video. And when the thing is that at the end of the day, man, nobody give a shit. At the end of the day, it's not really that big of a deal to me. After a while, it's like, and then people also have been doxxed and shit like that. And it's like, people don't care, man. At the end of the day, nobody give a shit. But the thing is that in regards to this conversation, yeah, I mean, um, the whole idea is that these people they'll never even show their face or anything like that because basically at the end of the day they understand their weaknesses and they're comfortable with that. Alex, I don't know if your bitch ass is still there, but I dropped the link if you wanna hop on and explain your bitch assness on the World Wide Web because you real confident keyboard warrior and you know what I'm saying coming on people's chat talking shit, but I wanna hear you talk some shit so I can see how much of a bitch you actually are if you brave enough, Alex me. But anyway, yeah, I mean that's the whole thing about it. These because see here's the thing. One thing I'll say is, I'm 40 years old and it's like I get it. I wanted to fight Jake Paul too. I really did, but I'm like, I don't have the money and I'm considered somewhat old, but not really. Because Floyd Mayweather is actually he's stepping in the ring to fight Jake Paul or whatever. But I mean, the thing is that I come to the whole realization is if you really don't like somebody, man, put your dukes up, man. I came up in the '80s in the South Side of Chicago in the pretty much ghetto. Man, I had to fight when I was 4 years old. I had to fight I had to fight in preschool. So this shit is nothing new to me, man. I was not sheltered at all. I mean, my mother was a free range mother. I'm gonna talk about mothers and different kinds of mothers and whatnot. And basically, man, I don't, I could for survival, it would have been very very hard for me to be on some beta male type shit. It just would have been. You know what I'm saying? And I know I said I was going refrain from cussing and shit like that, but the thing about it is this needed to be said. I might put this on Patreon. I don't know. I might put this on Patreon because yeah, this is valuable information to a certain extent because obviously it's definitely hurt touching the little touchy feely strings because I'm still waiting on Alex Me to show his bitch ass up, but he ain't coming on because he got his mama's titty in his mouth. You know what I'm saying? So because he just a little bitch ass little baby man. You know what I'm saying? So he just comes on people's chats and just says stupid shit because if you so smart, prove to me how smart you are. You know what I'm saying? If you so macho, you know what I'm saying? Come on and show your work. Show me. I'll let you share your screen. Show me how much of an alpha male you are. So show me how how intelligent you are, since you saying somebody is, this, that, and the third, you know. But anyway, I'll leave this up a little while, but I probably put this on Patreon. Because the thing is that, like I said, this is something that I was gonna do like last week or a couple weeks ago, but I've been really busy, and a lot of times things just like kind of make me wanna actually put something up. But this is for you, Alex. This is for you, bruh, right here. So yeah, I just pretty much I feel compelled to talk about this, man. Definitely felt compelled because I'm like, man, I just be minding my own business, man. I mean, to be honest with you, I just a lot of times, like I said, I just I primarily have been just kind of like falling back, and I've been just watching content from like people that are actually millionaires. I've been listening to a lot of guys that's already, quote unquote millionaires. A lot of guys that primarily just talk women and men that talk about finance, because a lot of this shit ain't nothing to me, because it all goes back to the money with me. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to the money, because the thing about it is, I don't wake up thinking, damn, I'm a beta male, I'm an alpha male, anything like that. I think, how can I make some money today? That's what I really think. But a lot of times, yeah, a lot of people, they don't want to make no money. You know, they so stuck in their ways, they don't even want no money. They don't want to make no money. They don't want to do nothing to make any money, and they just so stuck in their ways that's just how they're gonna be. And it goes to the point where, this person, truly even a beta male? Are these people even a beta male? Because if you dissect them, you know, they just have maybe certain qualities, but definitely not a higher tier beta male. More of I like to say, because the thing about it is, when it comes to the whole, just between the alpha and beta dynamic, you have beta that are just, I call full spectrum betas, and in a lot in the breakdown of this, I ain't trying to get nobody to come run up on me or anything, man, because I got property in Gary, Indiana now. But ARC, Alan Roger Curry, he made up this beta alpha dynamic, okay? Because you got beta alpha males, and then you also have alpha with beta traits, and like I say, um, alpha, full alpha spectrum or whatever. Very few individuals are actually full alpha spectrum, whereas they're just full alphas. One of the persons that you could classify as a full alpha would be the guy that just passed, Debo. Debo, COVID knocked him out. You know what I'm saying? But Debo is somebody that I definitely would transcribe as someone to be in a full spectrum alpha. But the thing is that some guys, I believe, are more full spectrum betas. That they're betas with no alpha traits, and that's in that regard. A lot of times, you have the full spectrum, beta being the nerdy type that is pretty much non-conformance, does not have any ambitions to be alpha whatsoever, other than through fantasy and in just ideas as far as whatever TV show you watch and shit like that. So the thing is that that's even okay, right? Because as long as you taking care of yourself, paying your bills, you're responsible. Who really cares, man? I mean, as long as you can close a door behind you, I mean, you're doing good, man. If you able to close a door behind you and you got a roof over your head, you're really doing good. You know what I'm saying? Because where it comes to the Zeta males and females as well, because this is cross correlation, cross unisex. Uh, Zeta male don't have no door. You know what I'm saying? And they don't have a place to live and shit like that. You know, and because of whatever the case may be, it's and it's primarily not. It's let's just say the case is they don't have the money. They're not able to conform in society to make enough money or make money to actually pay for living expenses. You know what I'm saying? And they don't have the wherewithal. And then in a lot of cases, they're not able to be teachable or coachable to get them to rise above that Zeta status. And in the community, a lot of times these guys will be considered, like, for example, it's cold outside. These guys will be homosexuals. Okay, a Zeta male primarily would you would classify him as being a homosexual. Now the thing is that I know people are like, well, fuck you, and I'm an alpha male and blah blah blah. No, the Zeta is not necessarily have anything to do. Like you got real strong bums out there. You know what I'm saying? You got some He-Man warrior crackheads out there, but they're still Zeta males because at one time, yeah, they might have been an All-American football player, but because they started smoking the pipe and they got hooked on crack rock, they walking around and they're Zeta males. Like, for example, I was pulling into I was coming from where was I coming from? I was coming from getting a few little coins or whatever, and I was like, I was a little hungry, and I pulled into Checkers. I was like, okay, you got Checkers, and then you got across the street you got Burger King. So I pulled into Checkers, and I'm pulling the drive-through, and it's some dude with a chick, and he said something about $5. Can you do this or something like that? I'm like, bro, if you got $5, man, they gonna take your cash. All you gotta do is walk up to the window. And he looked at me and he was like, it's like he was like had a perplexed look on his face. But he was with some chick, right? And I'm like, well, this is kind of awkward. I'm like, am I going to get robbed? I mean, what the hell's going on here? So I pulled up to the actual, where give the money and everything in the drive through lane or whatever. And it was, terrible customer service. Nobody was even at the window. I just drove across the street to freaking Burger King. Okay. And then as I was driving off, I could hear the lady like that he was with, like, say something like, where did he go? Or some shit. And it's like pretty much this is a Zeta couple. Okay. I mean, basically they look like they was, I have no idea what type of drugs or something they on, because a lot of times, yeah, I mean, people that behave like that are primarily on drugs. A lot of homeless people are, I'll tell you, from a societal perspective, a sociological perspective, a lot of homeless people are either they have severe mental illness or they're heavy substance abusers. It is a few in that statistic is just bad luck and so on and so forth, right? But these people were primarily, like a lot of people that are homeless. They were probably most likely looking to get some money, to actually buy some food, to buy some crack or whatever. And I drove off. I mean, one thing I'll say in Chicago, you do have to have tough skin like that. I mean, probably other parts of the world too, because the thing is that yeah, I'm a selfless prick. I mean, I had $5, but the thing is that you know, I look at it like this: this person don't need no money. Money ain't gonna help them in a situation necessarily, but to probably most likely get some more crack or get some heroin. You know, what they what they need is to basically get some help, right? And me being like, for example, I'm broke. I can't particularly help them other than kind words and stuff like that, and which they most likely were not going to listen to. Okay, now, I mean, basically, that's one of the reasons why I actually do this. This is why I talk about these things and stuff like that, because I could have just been like, "Hey, just check out the broke genius when you get some time," and I could have just drove off. I mean, if I would have done that, that would have been very very helpful with me having to explain every goddamn thing, because I already have explained a lot of things on my channel, that will actually help people. I'm gonna tell you, for example. So is it one of my subs? He messaged me on Facebook, and he told me that he saved 45K. Okay, and he's shooting for $100,000 this year. You know what I'm saying? My content, my book, The Millionaire Savings Plan, has helped him. Okay, my content has helped him try to achieve certain higher levels. So it is valuable. I mean, what people say a lot of times, it is some type of value other than what Alex Me has, who has yet to come on because he has no balls. Um, said in the chat or whatever, but you know, that's what I'm saying as far as the whole Zeta thing. I mean, that was a Zeta couple, that were out there in the streets and on bad luck and stuff like that. And you actually have a lot of those people. A lot of the black community has a lot of Zeta males and females, because primarily by being the lowest class system in America, the system is very very much designed to actually kind of perpetuate that, but also it's just very very it's very, let's just say, very difficult to be African American in the United States, such as other groups, because you can get help. Now don't get me wrong, there, because the United States has more populace of white people, because by just demographics as far as population, it's more white people that are actually poor, because it's just more white people than there are black people. Okay, so I've been to a lot of towns in Illinois and in different parts of the country that they primarily they've been, a lot of towns, one horse towns, that populace was poor white people, a lot of poor white people, and I'm what I mean by primarily poor is like, in a sense of a Zeta, they don't, not only are they poor, they don't have, they or broke, they don't have a place to live. They're like, a lot of times Zeta males are transients that don't have a place to live. They're like the lowest strung of any particular community or society. Okay, typically someone is homeless, that is at the bequest of those around them to donate to them, to give them money, for charitable, for charity, because they're just very very poor. Okay, in the black community, you have a lot of that, and it's really really bad, because one thing about, I noticed, as far as the difference between, let's say, white communities that are poor versus black communities don't really have a lot of pride in their communities that a poor white community would have, such as in the black communities that are poor, you see a lot of junk and trash on the street, and even there's a lot of poor black community or poor white communities where the violence is relatively low in comparison to the black communities that have a lot of poor people, quote unquote Zeta, males and females. You know what I'm saying? And this is these topics are very, 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 very it hurts people. These are hurtful topics, right? Because what I mean by hurtful is it makes you feel bad. Because if you're not the type of person like myself who, I've been in the Zeta category. I've talked about my financial challenges in life and stuff like that. I've been to in a situation where I had to bum on somebody's couch and I had no property that it was entitled to me or no house on contract. I had to get myself up to a higher tier through my back being against the wall and fighting day in and day out. So don't get me wrong. I understand. Yeah, it hurts, man, when you are at the bottom. But all I can say is that like I say, my channel is a self improvement channel. A lot of the things that I talk about is self improvement. So it's not like I don't want to um say that someone is a bad person or whatever. Wherever you are, you can actually come out of it. You can go to the highest that you want to actually go to. You know, it's up to the individual to do so. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing I'll say is, where do you want to be if you want to be poor? Do you want to be in this country, or do you want to be in Budapest, or be in Bangladesh, shall I say, as I meant to say, and be poor? You're in this country and you're poor. You have a better chance to actually not being poor versus other countries that is the rise to wealth is a lot difficult. Okay, so I mean, don't I wouldn't I hope to not discourage anyone through my conversations as far as such, because thing is, like I say, I admit my wrongs, because the thing is that you don't even know, you will never know who I am, most likely. Only probably the only time you'll know who I am is if you want to know, or if I become famous or something like that. I'm just some dude on YouTube, man, that is had a channel for some years. I got 5,000 subs. Um, you know, maybe a few of my loyal subscribers that actually bought some products from me. They actually know what my name is. They already know where I live and shit like that. But the thing is that you know you you probably most likely will never meet me in person. So it's like I don't I don't think like, oh, I'm so embarrassed to let you know something. I mean, yeah, to a certain extent. The only thing that I kind of feel a certain type of way about that is when, I hop on somebody else's channel and then they judge me. Because like this bitch ass Alex Me, I troll a little bit too, but I don't troll. I'm not a negative troll. Like, I don't troll people's channel and talk shit per se, as far as like, cussing people out and calling people stupid and stuff like that. I troll to basically not so much show my channel name and shit like that, because people do judge you. People do judge me because, like I say, I am the self-proclaimed asshole. I am an asshole, and women love me. Not all women, but it's some women that actually love my asshole. So, I mean, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be putting this on Patreon. But I mean, the thing about it is, man, I mean, I have no bones to pick as far as me being an asshole. Most people don't like assholes. Okay, like for example, a lot of people that like Michael Jordan. It's like Michael Jordan was one of the biggest assholes that actually walked the earth, man. And a lot of people did not like him. It's all on Save the Last Dance. But yeah, I mean, the thing about it is, I don't have no qualms about stating my indiscrepancies in life, because what I might state might help somebody else not make those discrepancies. Like I give people real world examples of what to do and not to do. You know what I'm saying? And I pretty much I have some wisdom in my life, and as far as the knowledge that I've applied to do different things, and I know not all the time what to do, but I mean, a lot of times in certain regards, I do. It took me a while to figure out real estate. Like the house that I have now, it was a grade D house. I had to figure out it took me a while, like a puzzle, to figure out what was needed to get this house fixed up. And it still might be, I wouldn't be surprised more missing puzzles to this piece. But this is the first house that I actually had to do everything. It had nothing in it. It had things that were involved that I've never been involved with. I had to get this particular person that's an expert in this plumbing or electrician, carpentry, to tell me, all right, this, and this, because I didn't even know. So this house, it just gave me an education, because one thing about buying properties and buying real estate and fixing it up, every property, it has some type of level of uniqueness where you're gonna learn something. You're gonna learn something from each property that you buy, and it's gonna make you more of a seasoned investor. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not saying that I got everything figured out, but it's definitely a challenge. But the thing about it is, like I say, I mean, I definitely, my circle is very, very small, you know. And like in the regards to Tyrese and that post he made on Instagram, I'll put that post on this chat here. You know what I'm saying? The thing about it is, I definitely agree with that post. I mean, it just, yeah, most of the guys, man, that I hung around, like I said, when I was in high school, they was athletic alpha males. Some one of the guys I grew up with, that played basketball with and stuff, went to high school with, lived a couple doors down. I mean, this dude, went to freaking the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So, NFL linebacker. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's all I know, man. So yeah, if you couldn't fight and shit like that, man, a lot of times have to stay inside. You had to stay indoors. You know what I'm saying? Because outside you had to throw them hands, and it wasn't even just you had to be able to argue. An argument was nothing. Argument or shooting the dozens was nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, a lot of times, man, that's why a lot of times I'll just fire up StreamYard, because ain't nobody really on that I really want to listen to, because it's like, I really don't want to hear all of that diatribe about this, and this, and this lower tier, beta male conversations. Just don't want to hear that shit, really, to be honest. So I just like basically fire up something for my own entertainment. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times I have to be my own entertainment, pretty much. But this is some morning talk. I posted that post of Tyrese in the comment section. You know, if you care to look at it. So, you know, I just hopped on here and like I said, I'm probably gonna go back to bed before I watch this Bears game. Nobody wants to hop on, so I'm going to go back to bed. And Alex Mead, he's gonna get he's still sucking on his mama's titty. And that's it.